Comics are totally awesome. And I'm totally awesome too. Whoa! BRZRKR from Parody Press. Back it today!
New from Terraform Comics, Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, Volume 1, Trash Day. When everyday people develop godlike abilities, it is up to a small band of heroes to expose an evil superhuman trafficking ring. This 128-page volume merges history with fiction in an exciting, fast-paced adventure. Get your copy now.
I got the hot drive on modulator and the 2-gate on even flow. Inside the time space continuator, there's a flex mount that's set to go. This thing is vertical, retractable, reversible, submergible and generative. And the mechanism cross the divide and multiply and disk drive is generative. It's generative. Plug the main out into the AC. I've got the steam pre to heat it up. If there's a dropout inside the timepiece, then the jam scene will lock it up. I've been building it, planning it, dreaming it, planning it, jamming it, I'm jamming it. And if I pull a switch and nothing hits, I'll do it all again. Right now, I give everything I've got. Journey with you, no doubt. I believe in everything you are. Journey with you, in the undergrid, we're getting shaky. The excitement is in the air.
Hey everyone, good morning. How are you? I hope you're doing great. I'm doing well. This is another edition of Comics and Coffee. I'm your host, Don Chin, a longtime veteran of comics. I started like in 79 publishing, but I didn't start getting paid until like the mid 80s. So it's been 30 years, but I took about 15 years off. So, was in it for a good 15 years, and then I had to try some other ventures. But it is good to be here. Good morning. I'm caffeinated. This is like cup number 2.5. This is my Red Valkyrie cup, which is from Shay and Cy of the Red Valkyrie channel. This is some of Cy's artwork. Pedro, how would you grade this artwork? Do you think it it's worthy of making its own character? I don't know. But anyways, I wanted to let you folks know that I'm going to be on Red Valkyrie's auction. They have an art auction like every quarter. And they're going to have one on December 4th, which is a Saturday. And they break it up into 3 different time slots. They have like a morning one, an afternoon one, and an evening one. And they last about 3 hours each. So from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I'm going to be on. I don't know what I'm selling yet, but it'll be good. I usually try to pack a lot of cool, either original artwork or comics or even stuff that I draw, which, I'm not the greatest artist, but I'm not the worst either. But anyways, Bill Mouse will be on it with me, and so will his daughter, Cat Mouse. So if you are fans of Parody Press or Bill Mouse, Cat Mouse, Shay sells her own work on there. And actually, I think Rod Looper will be on that show. Rod Looper is a very good artist for Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon, for Beyond Time Comics. So I think he's going to be on that show. I'm not sure who else, but it's going to be good. So mark your calendars for that. And then me and Anthony, who's my guest, we'll probably discuss a little bit about the Luke Stone benefit auction. That's something that we're both behind and want to promote. If you didn't know, Luke Stone is a comic book creator. He's been my guest. He's been a guest, I'm sure, with Anthony on his show. And a few months ago, Luke got COVID, and he's been on a ventilator in the hospital like for about 70 plus days. And he just got off the ventilator probably in the last week. He's able to finally swallow, like, I think more than just ice cubes, or maybe he's just able to swallow ice cubes now. So he's got a long road ahead of him, and his family's been, pretty in a pretty bad spot for a while because their dad and their father has been out of commission and fighting for his life. But I think he's out of the woods. A lot of, like I said, a lot of hardship. So we want to bless Luke. He's a pastor, and so there's a website, and I'll try to find that and post it. But if folks want to donate to that, I think you still can. If you go to my Twitter page, you can probably see where I've been posting about it, and you can get in touch with the people that are coordinating that auction. And if you're a creator and you want to donate, or you're a publisher and you want to donate books, I think there's still time to do that, because I don't think the auction is until like the 21st or 22nd of this month. So there's still a little bit of time before you can participate and contribute. And if you just want to donate money, there's a GoFundMe, and you can just feel free to donate money that way. So, definitely a worthy cause. And I hope that Luke pulls through quickly and that he's back to making comics. I played his little trailer before the show. It's a book called Hybrids, Sons of God, and that's one of his titles. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Anthony in just a moment. So here's the format today. It's a little different. You guys are used to my live show. I do want to say hi to everybody first, but Pedro, I already said hi to you on air. Pedro is a awesome animator, artist, colorist, and he is working on Black and White with Art T. Bear and Vonster. So that's pretty good company, Pedro. I definitely love your stuff. I want to maybe try to get together with you and do something in the future. Mo and Joe, Abominable Grizzlies, are in the house. Good to see you again. And of course, Anthony is here. And anyways, Pedro does approve of the Red Valkyrie artwork, but that's good. I'll let them know. All right. So anyways, guys, let's bring in our friend and often co-host to my show. That would be Anthony. Hey, Anthony. What's up, buddy? We got you on mute. There you are.
What's up? What's going on?
You look good. You look all fresh. Did you get some sleep?
I did. I'm actually feeling a little under the weather, but nothing too
Oh,
crazy. I already went through the coof already, so I'm not thinking it's that again because that was just a month ago. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I think it's just my boss has been on vacation, so I've been working like every day. So I think I'm just worn out. My body's just like, get some sleep, and which I did. So
That's
I
good.
after here, I just got to go in for a couple hours, and then I'm gonna come home and just relax. So I threw
Nice,
the
bud.
link for the auction in the private chat.
Oh,
So
thanks, buddy. I will
yeah,
post
so you
that.
have.
So, what's new and exciting with you? You've got. We're going to talk about. I'd like to talk to you about the following. I want to get a Honey Alice update because I back that, and
Mhm.
then you've got this new book that you're in pre-launch on.
Yes.
You've got your own news show, which I see you've been doing more episodes of, and then I wanted to play your unboxing of BEARDZZERKER because that was a that was a funny little episode that I watched and I cringed as soon as I saw that I made a mistake in your order.
I think honestly, I think it sounds like Rob ordered something different. So I think really what it was because you promised him an X-Cons cover and me one. I think he just swapped our covers, and I got his note on the. I think that's all
Okay.
that happened. Yeah, because
I,
until he confirms that, then I got everything else other than the soundtrack. 'Cause I'm like I said, I'm assuming you're gonna send out links for the soundtrack, right? Like
yeah, I already did, but maybe
oh, I'll have to check. I'll have to check.
okay. If you
Yeah.
didn't, let me know, and I sent that out maybe about 3 weeks ago.
All right.
So
I'll check
if you
my
didn't get it,
inbox and
yeah,
spam folder. Yeah.
it's from the Parody Press account. So
Okay. Good to
anyway,
know.
so so tell us what's going on with Honey and Alice. Are you close to going?
Yeah, we're getting close. Still right now pushing for a late December fulfillment. As long as
All
everything
right.
goes smooth. Yeah. So, uh, with COVID and stuff, it that kind of held me up. So it might go into January, which is a little later than what I said, but not too much later. So hopefully people won't get upset. Um, but I'm just finishing up some inks and lettering and stuff like that. So then we got to go to print, obviously. So however long that takes. So
Let me share
um,
your campaign. You can still buy this, correct?
it is still in demand. Once we start fulfilling, I think we're gonna take it down. So
Okay,
uh,
awesome, man. So this
yeah.
is your very first comic book, right?
Yeah, well, I did the ash can for Mandy Summers' Wart the Wizard, her very first book. But this is my very first full length, my personal comic, yeah, and campaign. So this is the first. This was the first time I did, anything other than just draw some pictures and scan them into a computer and send them to somebody else. Um, so it's been an experience and it's been pretty cool, and I've enjoyed the ride so far. But if anybody doesn't know, Hunting Alice is a psychological thriller that it's kind of trippy, hence all the surreal imagery. And we got my cover there with the great colors by Matt Kratz. He totally nailed it. Totally inspired me to do the blacklight tapestries that you see behind me
Yeah,
on the wall.
I can
That's
see
what.
that influence.
Yeah,
And
I
then
saw that
Vic,
cover. And yeah, Vic King's got his variant team up cover with our other character Roulette. So that's Agent Fairley Wingate, the main character, standing there with the guns, and that's Roulette with the swords. A separate character for an ashcan that's part of this campaign. But we did a team up cover, and Vic said, "Can I go heavy with the Alice in Wonderland imagery?" And I said, "Go for it." And Billy Basco
nice.
did the colors, and yeah, it came
Is
out beautiful.
do you think you're gonna do roulette on her own in the future, or not sure?
We'd like to. We'd like to. Want to see how the reception to the ashcan goes first, obviously.
Nice.
And then take it from there. And then that would be like a secondary property that we can launch off of if people take to it. Um, so I had a lot of great help. The people who signed up for the mailing list and then backed are getting a roulette trading card from Peter Gilmore, which
Wow.
I have right here. That's the Peter Gilmore trading card.
Let me make you big here, my friend. Wow, cool, man.
Yeah.
So, do you know where you're printing this book? Is it are you going with Mixum, or are you going with somebody else, or?
I am going with Mixum, though. For the next campaign, which we just went in pre-launch, I might shop around. I might ask. I remember you were telling me about a company I saw, and somebody else was telling me about a company they use. So I might check those out. Mixum seems to be a good spot. A lot of people seem to trust them, and I've seen a lot of books come out of there, and they do a good job. So that's why I went with them. It was just like first time I went with the one that seems to be doing the best work right now.
Yeah.
As far as the majority of people using them. But then your books are coming out great.
Thank you.
As far as the quality goes. So yeah, I might shop around on this next one. So
yeah,
but
I use a company out of New York called Digital Print Universe, and I did inquire originally with Mixum, Comics Wellspring, and Kablam, and Kablam sent me samples, and I looked at the pricing, and some people were saying they weren't saying necessarily bad things, but Wellspring was getting a lot of good online recommendations, but I called them, and then I emailed them, and no one ever got back to me. So I thought, well, if this is kind of the customer service, then I don't know if I want to go that route. But
right.
I don't know if you know about Grok Comics. He's the Tribulation Task Force creator. He sent me, I backed his campaign, and he sent me his books, and I got to talking to him, and he said, yeah, we use this company called Digital Print Universe, and they do all these different covers, and I think they do a lot of the Starcross comic books, and they've done stuff with Luke as well. And I contacted him online, and they got back to me really quickly, and they've just been bending over backwards. And the prices, to be honest with you, Anthony, they were almost like 40 cents less per issue than the lowest that I saw. And I thought, wow, if it's this quality, and they're not gonna if they're not gonna pull my chain, then I should give them a shot. And so we did X-FARCE with them, and it came out great, and they double packed. I didn't have a single damaged book out of quite a few different copies, and so I was really happy with them, and so we went with them again. And Nicholas Gear, who's in the chat, I don't know if you've had Nicholas on your show, but he's the creator of Relentless Tin Soldier. He just sent me his book. He fulfilled it, and Nicholas, I read it last night. I really liked it. I definitely want to see issue 2, but it looked like the same printer, because I could kind of, if you look at the cover, you can kind of see a little bit of raised ink on the cover, and it felt like the same kind of paper stock. So I don't know, Nicholas, if you were behind the production on that, but it felt like it was a Digital Print Universe book. Maybe I'll do a more in-depth review on Relentless Tin Soldier, but it was fun. It was a good read. So
yeah, that one slipped under my radar.
Yeah, it was Billy Tucci and Shelby Robertson both did variant covers for him. And I think he even had a tier, Anthony, where if he hit like a certain stretch goal amount, there was like a potential TMNT crossover with his character, which I thought was, wow, how do you pull that off? That would have been awesome. But maybe that will be for another day. But yeah, Nicholas, yeah, see, yeah, that's the printer you used. Hopefully you were happy with them. Maybe you use the same rep I do. His name is Aaron Kane, and he very responsive to text and email. So I definitely recommend Digital Print Universe. You can look them up on, I think they have a Facebook page. So they're pretty cool. So Anthony, tell us what else is going on. Let's talk about your channel, because I know you're getting close to 1,000 subs.
Oh, dude, so close. It's like the last 100. Everybody always said that to me too. The last 100 getting there is going to be like the most excruciating. Yeah, so I picked back up the Comicsgate News show, which I had started in the beginning of the year. And then when we launched Hunting Alice, I said, okay, I can't be doing like these pre-recorded videos. Like unboxing videos are one thing because you just throw the camera on, you open a box, you kind of go through the items and books or whatever. But like to sit down and do each segment, even if they're short, and then try to have these goofy little commercials or play people's trailers and stuff like that as commercials, which I did. I think I used the BRZRKR one and the X-FARCE one back when I was originally doing them.
Cool, thank you, bro.
Yeah, you had sent me those, and so then when I don't know, it seemed like it was time to bring it back, so I came back for season 2. And got a green screen this time to make it look like I was really in a newsroom, and we still having fun with it. I say we, it's just me, and usually my one dog sits here. She's like she's right there now. Actually, she's like my my co-host. Even though no one sees her, she's always there. Yeah, it's like another way to promote without having to schedule a stream and everybody take time out of their day and sync up and spend an hour. And it's just a way to show off as many books. I used to kind of do the comic book showcase, the live streams that I do where I bring people on. I used to do about a year and a half ago. It started off as like a pre-recorded thing with me just going through campaigns like on my screen. That was it, right? And then I brought the live edition, which was the interview format, and that kind of stayed and the other one phased out. And what the pre-recorded, this kind of morphed into Comicsgate News, where I made it a little more entertaining and palatable, where it's not just a screen share of my desktop going through Indiegogo campaigns. And it's just a way for me to point out, like, not just campaigns even, but like we all know in the comic book sphere, no matter what part of it you fall in, there's so many channels that delve on the drama. Who's late? Who got mad at who? Who did this? You know what I mean? And I was like, but no one's talking about the books that are fulfilling on time. No one's talking about books that no one's like really even talking about when campaigns are ending or if a stretch goal gets announced, that maybe you already backed a campaign, but now they got a stretch goal, or that they're adding a new tier that you have to go back in and back again. And some of these things get lost in the mix because there's so many campaigns to keep track of, and there's so many people following, and with algorithms, Twitter, you only get to really see the people you interact with mostly, and unless they share something, you don't see it. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna point out all the good stuff that's going on, from the little things to hey, they just hit a stretch goal, to hey, these guys just got their books out, and these guys just wind up hitting goal, and like they got funded, like stuff like that, like without all the other excess, bullshit, which is fun to watch sometimes, but something, all the good stuff gets lost in the mix. So that's what I wanted to do with Comicsgate News, hence the news without the drama.
Positive.
And it's probably my biggest, next to my open mic night streams, where we just play music and hang out and have a good time, and that's members from Comicsgate, non-Comicsgate. I have personal friends that come on there. People from the Fandom Menace side come over there and hang out and play music, so that's cool. But other than that, because that's a 3-hour stream, so those views kind of build up over the course of 3 hours. But this is probably my biggest viewed videos are the Comicsgate News videos. They get anywhere from 70 to like 100 views within the first 24 hours. So
nice. I think if you're consistent, that'll definitely keep growing. And it's the only kind of show that I think you're like a news reporter type, and you don't take yourself too seriously, but it has a slick look to it. So congratulations, my friend.
We try to do it every Monday and Friday. The last couple of weeks, and I try to get them out like in the daytime, like between 10 and noon, sometime in that slot. Obviously, last week I was late because, like I said, my boss was on vacation and I've been covering, so I got them out like a day late. And then yesterday I didn't put one out, or Monday I didn't put one out just because I had a big day yesterday with going on the skits team right after work, and then going over to Well Red Stream to review Expendables Go to Hell, and then we did an interview, about an hour and a half interview with Chuck Dixon afterwards. So I wanted to make sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Chuck, so I wanted to make sure that I had everything I needed done, so this way I wasn't late to anything yesterday. So we're just taking a week off this week, and we'll get back into it next week.
Oops. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to
sign up today.
Let me mute that there. I was just gonna show the screen to the Expendables unboxing. So Anthony, are you? Tell us about Lightbringer, because this seems to be the one. I just signed up for it. I have your video preloaded, so if you want, I could play the video and then bring up your sign up page. Would that be all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a little bit how what's going on with this book and my role and how it came to be when you play the video. Yeah.
So guys, before I change the banner, if you haven't subscribed to Anthony's channel yet, help him to get to 1,000. Just go to that link that I posted, and you can just hit the subscribe button, and then you'll be notified whenever Anthony goes live. He is a constant streamer and a good dude. He backs tons of books. I think between you and Nefarious, you guys, I don't know who backs more, but you guys are definitely core contributors to our wallet. So thank you, Anthony.
we were neck and neck up until May of 2020, and in March, when everything locked down, I went. Most of us went without work, and so my backing from May to 2020 to December 2020 was a little slower. So I think he pulled ahead of me a little bit. But yeah, he's my competitor in being a super backer.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's play your trailer, my friend, and then we'll talk about it. And people in the chat, feel free to ask Anthony any questions. He is, like I said, he's a man of many talents. He's a musician. He's an artist. He's a publisher, broadcaster. So and a bartender, right?
Yeah. I sling the drinks. I make a mean margarita.
I was going to ask you, what's the hardest drink to make?
Hardest? All right, well, I wouldn't say that's the hardest, but it's the most. There's two drinks that are the biggest pain in the ass to make. And actually, in one of the industry publications, there was a survey of 10,000 bartenders, and I actually participated in it. And it said what drink needs to be retired, and the top one was the mojito, and the second one was the old fashioned, because it takes so much time. You got to muddle the fruit and all this stuff, and it's just like when you got a full bar, the last thing you want to do is stop dead in your tracks. So you're sitting there with a muddle, and you're muddling cherries and mint and all that bullshit. Oh, excuse my language, sorry. So. Yeah, those two drinks are the worst. Martinis can be a pain, but depending on the type of martini, it's fine. But yeah, those two are the worst. Anything you have to muddle.
What's the most expensive drink that you serve?
The most expensive would probably be, the most expensive would be a King Louis. I mean, those go for like $80 a glass, but that's not even hard. That's not hard to make. That's like you just pour it right over ice or whatever. It's a really expensive whiskey. But mixologist, I hate that term. I'm not a mixologist. I'm a bartender. And I try to make myself sound fancier than I already am. I guess mixologists create. But I create recipes, and I don't like that term. So. I have a series of drinks that I make because the worst part about being a bartender is, especially because I do a lot of weddings, right? And you got 100 people. There's 2 behind the bar. You're trying to bust out these drinks so these guys can get back in and start eating and dancing and having a good time. And you get that one girl, and it happens everywhere, nightclubs, bars, but like weddings, doesn't matter. But you get that one girl that comes up and it's like, I don't know what I want. What can you make? I can make anything. What do you want? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't like, and then it's like, they're like, I want something sweet, but I don't know what I really want. And so I'm like, I got you. So I created like a few different drinks that like are my go-to. If I get it's usually girls that do this. And so if I get a girl that says that, I don't even ask questions anymore. I just start making the drink and I hand it to her. And the only thing I ask is like, are you allergic to strawberries? No? Okay, good. Here you go. Boom. Are you, you know what I mean? Like, are you allergic to this? Because depending on what I have is what I'll use to make these drinks. So I just came up with a slew of different like girly drinks, so that when I get those annoying, indecisive chicks, I'm like, okay, here, just take this and go. You know? Like,
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Have you
worst.
ever had
Like,
any? I was gonna say, have you ever had anyone have a allergic reaction to a drink?
No, never.
Yeah. Okay.
Knock on wood.
That's-
Knock on wood.
That's good. Pedro took offense at the mojito. He said it's a staple.
I know it is. I know it is, but it's the worst. It's not the worst. They taste. I make a good mojito. I really do, but it is time consuming. If there's nothing going on and you want a mojito, I'll make it. But when I got 100 people at the bar sitting there going, you know, I just, you know, hopefully it's something easy like a vodka soda, scotch on the rocks, a beer, wine. You know, you just want to get those people out. Like that's the last 10 years I've been doing a lot of private events like weddings and parties and stuff like that. So, you know, volume is key, you know, so drinks like that slow you down, you know. Espresso martinis, you gotta go brew the espresso and then come back, and it's like, okay, whatever.
So
but
are you ever slinging a Zima?
I haven't slinged a Zima since I was 18. We used to keep a cooler in the trunk in high school and drink them in class and pretend we were drinking Sprite.
Did they still make that?
I don't think so. I mean, they probably do. They probably sell it like in a limited market somewhere, but they're not like nationwide like they used to.
That's too funny. Pedro's just pulling our leg. All right. I don't even know what a mojito is or a Negroni, but I'm sure you do.
Yeah. Mojito is like it's similar to like a margarita, just with mint and rum. Is basically, but it still has lime. Yeah, it's got lime in it and basically the same. It's basically all the same ingredients. Only you have to muddle lime and mint together. And if you're smart, you get the chef to make you a mint infused simple syrup, so you don't have to do so much muddling. If he's willing to do it for you. And then it's just lime juice and rum and sour mix.
Awesome, man. I'm not a drinker, but you're making me thirsty. That sound good. All right, so let's watch your cool trailer, my friend. This is Lightbringer, and it is currently in sign-up phase. And I'll pull up the pre-campaign lunch after we watch the trailer. So here you go, guys.
Things are getting worse by the day in Pharaoh City, with Valkyrie Mart crushing all in its path. Carter Granholm is one of the last rays of hope in this pit of despair as his enemies surround and plot against him. But a new hero will rise in Pharaoh City, one to become a beacon of light and beat back the darkness. Lightbringer, Genesis. Volume 1. Written by Liz Scocho and illustrated by Vic King. Published by Dark Gift Comics. Sign up today, only on Indiegogo.
Nice, man. Was that your music?
No, it was actually somebody else's music, but it was a riff that I had helped come up with, but they used and recorded it for their own stuff. So yes and no. Like it's not me playing, you know, but like I helped like in the during a jam session come up with that riff. So
was that your video skills? Did you edit that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was me doing the video, yeah.
You know what I thought was cool was you had a little bit of like a blue and red filter, almost looked like a 3D book. I was thinking it'd be so cool for somebody in Comicsgate to do a 3D book because no one's really done that in a while.
I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it. If
awesome.
everybody likes the Hunting Alice and we go to do a book 2, we're gonna do, we want to do color definitely, and I think because like blue and red plays a big part in like the color scheme of that book, even though we're doing black and white. You saw in the cover, the Matt Krotz cover, colored cover, it's blue and red, because that's big symbolism in the book. I thought about doing a 3D
Awesome.
version. Yeah. So we'll see.
That would be
We'll
awesome.
see how that goes. Yeah.
I definitely support that. Sim is in the house, and we also
I
have
haven't seen Sim in a while.
Chozo, Amanda. Yeah, I haven't seen Sim in a while, and he's fulfilling Natverse. I think it's already
Oh,
out.
yeah,
I think
that'll be.
so.
Oh, see that one under my radar too. I'll have to report on
Yeah.
that.
All right. So tell us about Lightbringer and like your elevator pitch, my friend.
All right. Well, so Lightbringer, just how it came across my desk. Lightbringer is the first book by Dark Gift Comics that I don't really have anything to do with, other than publishing it. Because it was there's a little history behind it. Lightbringer was created by a gentleman named Linkara on a website called Channel Awesome back in the day, and he did it as a webcomic, and it was like lambasted. Like the concept was good, the story was good, but it was just shallow, like hollow, and weak, and the art was weak and stuff. And he got like lampooned for it, so he got fed up and he released it into the public domain. One of his friends and co-workers, who her name is Liz Scochill, otherwise known as Iron Liz Scochill, really believed in the idea and wanted to actually do something. So this isn't like us spoofing on the guy or like lambasting him. This is more of like you had a good idea and you're allowing people to take that idea and go with it. So we want to honor that the best we can is what her thinking was. So she kind of took it and reworked this story. And it's just your everyday, light, beacon of light type of hero character. Only in the original version, he has these powers and he doesn't really want to use them, but then he's forced to use them. In this one, he actually gets them. And some of the characters, she did a really good job of like beefing up like the mythos in the book. So in this book, I'm not even going to talk about the old story. In this book, Pharaoh City is like basically falling into despair and corruption because of a corporate conglomerate that is basically has like their foot on the throat of the city. You know what I mean? Like they basically run everything. There's the little guys, the little mom and pop shops have gone under, and everybody's broke, homeless, and hurting. And the main character Carter has he kind of stumbles into this situation where he now has to help and bring quote unquote light to the city. Lightbringer does, Lucifer means Lightbringer, but that's not this kind of, there's really no religious elements to it. I mean, there's like some religious imagery, but it's not a religious book. So like in the old story, there was like a one of the villains was like a gang member named Snake, and he was your stereotypical trope with the muscles and tattoos and spiked collars and everything like that. And in this, the main villain, I forget his name. She came up with a really good name, but like he's a low-level corporate lawyer, real sleazy looking. If you look at the campaign, there's actually an image of him. And like Vic did a great job of reimagining the characters. Like he's just short, stocky. Like he just looks like a wannabe like Goomba. If you go down to the bottom, you'll see him. I am doing a variant cover.
Okay, is this it right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the left image, you see the guy there. The guy that Carter's arguing with is this like slimy little toady looking, like low level corrupt lawyer for this big corporation, and it's just another way of making using a snake. His name is Binger.
Oh, that's hilarious. Chris is always good for comic relief.
Yeah, he is. He's great in the CGN chats. because I premiere them, so like it has the live chat for the premiere, and he's always in there, and he's cracking me up. Hannah, the girl behind our villain, is another character that, like, in the original story was just again a stereotypical trope. She's being assaulted in an alleyway. Carter, the almost like in the Spider-Man style, like doesn't help her, right? And so she's a victim in that sense. Here, she's stuck in. She works for this company also. She's a victim of circumstance more so. Like, she has more of a little bit of a moral integrity that's being like, well, I need to work. I need to make money, and this is the only job I can get right now. So she did a really good job. So there's a lot of like, it's more or less, it's not like we need to save the world because, Thanos is coming or something. This is more of your old school traditional superhero like fights, like the regular bad guy, like Superman versus Lex Luthor type of thing. Like that traditional superhero story. Yeah.
Is his staff like empowered? Does it have like a?
Yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to give away. That's why I was trying to get Vic to come on with me, but he never replied because he knows what Liz wants to keep under wraps and what's not. But yeah, I think the staff plays a role in this. I'll show you. Let me pull up.
Oh, you gonna share us? Share us some hot stuff.
Yeah, it's
behind the scenes.
So I'll show the image that we have shared there. There's a page in between that one and the one I'm going to show you, which I don't have yet because Vic is reworking that page. I would like to say that by the end of this weekend, 10 pages are going to be done, and by Thanksgiving, 15. By the time we launch on Black Friday, 15 pages are going to be completely drawn. The script's already done, and so half the book by launch will already be done. So
has Liz worked on anything else that we would know?
No, she's actually comes from more of like the tabletop games and stuff. So this is her first, and she kind of like took her oh, hey, there are page refs. Okay, she basically took herself off social media, and then when she decided to do this, because she works in like a corporate scenario herself, she wanted to do something creative. She always had this thought in the back of her head. She's a trans woman who has been blacklisted by the trans community for certain thoughts and stuff and all that kind of who she voted for, stuff like that. So she was looking around for people who wouldn't be afraid to, because she doesn't know what she's doing. She can write, but she doesn't know anything about putting out a comic book. So she was looking for a publisher who could wasn't afraid of cancellation, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And I was like, well, you came to the right place over here, Comicsgate, because we're not even worried about that kind of thing over here, So, let me share my screen. And it was funny because this was something that I was thinking of doing. Like, I've been doing Hunting Alice. I have my own book that I want to write and draw myself, that I have in the pipeline. And I was like, maybe one day I will publish somebody else's book. And then she just contacted me out of the blue, and it was like one of those things. I remember talking to my sister. I use this example a lot. So this is the page that that we have highlighted on the pre-launch page, where you can see Carter confronting our villain and Hannah in the background. And then there's a page after this, which I don't have. Well, this is the rough of it, but he's redrawing it. He wants a different angle. Where's the money shot? Why isn't it showing? Hold on 1 second.
So Vic actually worked on Hunting Alice with you too, right?
He just did the variant cover. It was funny how that came up. He was in the middle of doing a style, and with Nasser Rabadi, and he where is?
That's all right, man. Take your time.
I'm sorry. It was a good shot, and I'm upset that I can't find it. It's like it's what leads him into getting his powers. But
The powers. Yeah.
yeah. So Vic hit me up and asked me because I do music for people's trailers, and he said, "How much would it be for you to do a trailer song for Asyle?" And I said, and we were getting ready to launch Hunting Alice, and about I think it was like a month later we launched Hunting Alice. I said, I don't know, why don't you do me a variant cover? And that's how that kind of came about. So if anybody needs a song, I do work for trade. So, so and we had a good time with it, and working with him and Billy and Matt and Jason from Unhinged Entertainment does the variant cover for the roulette. Not the variant. He does the main cover for the roulette ashcan, and yeah, like I said, I had a lot of great help. Dan Plagle did one of the prints for us.
Nice.
So I have a lot of great artists that contributed to helping me out with that first campaign. But
Vic says he direct messaged you. He's in the audience. Hey, Vic.
Oh, he did.
Vic King.
He direct messaged me. Oh, so instead of showing you that, well, because I can't find it right now, this is the trading card. That let me move this over to my other screen. Perfect, Vic. Perfect timing, Vic, because I was boomering it up over here for a second. What you call it? This is the trading card. The finished inks on the trading card that you get if you sign up and back.
All right, here we go, guys. Is this the first time you've ever shown this to anybody, or?
This is the first time that it's not being shown where it's like on Vic's cam on his desk. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. So
angelic looking.
Yes. So the character design from the original concept is way different. And they didn't want to like totally reveal it in the card. That's why it's a back shot. So it's more or less like a hidden reveal right now in the card, because they want the actual reveal of what he's going to look like to be in the pages of the book. So it's a little teaser as far as what to expect when we get to finally see Lightbringer in full form. Bud. Yeah. So awesome. Like on my variant cover, I pay homage to the original design, which is more of a Superman looking type character. But if in the variant cover, he's fading into the sky, and then the new characters are kind of in the foreground. So it's more of an homage to the original. But that's why I'm not showing it so much, because I want Vic's cover when he's done with that, which I think he said he's going to be done by the end of the weekend, inking that as well, to be the main focus. So I'm not really showing my cover around until his cover's on there as well.
Okay, so let me get this straight. This is the one that the trading card you get if you sign up now?
Yes. If you sign up, and then when we launch you back, this is the card that you will get for free.
Nice.
And it will be in full color. The book is black and white because we're keeping costs down. Because basically, Liz came to me and I said, you know what? No time better than to do this. Publish other people's books than now when the opportunity arises. Because like I said to my sister when her and my brother-in-law were thinking about having kids, they would always say, oh, well, we're not ready yet. We don't have enough money. We don't have a big enough house. We're not ready. I'm like, well, if you keep saying you're not ready, you're never going to be ready, right? And I was kind of doing the same thing. And I said, you know what? Ready or not, here we go. And I decided to, talk to her, find out a little bit more about her and all this stuff, make sure I wasn't getting wrapped up in any more drama than needed to be. And then we talked about what she needed and what she was expecting, and I said, okay, well, I can handle the campaign and I'll do all the logistics as far as like handling the print files and going to printer and any trading cards and any other swag or anything like that. I'll handle all that. I'll handle fulfillment, and you just have to write it. I get my cut, and then you get you get the rest of the profits. But she's paying Vic out of pocket right now, so the money's actually going to go to reimburse her for paying Vic. Obviously, the printing costs, paying me to do everything, and then whatever's left is hers. She's 100% IP owner. I'm
Nice.
just the publisher. Yeah. So yeah, and it's working out really good so far. Where we got about 30 signups so far, and we've only been in pre-launch for like 2 weeks, and with so many campaigns to fight through. I was shocked that we were even going to get like that many signups. I was like, I'd like to have 100 signups, but we pre-launched on Halloween, and we're going to launch on Black Friday. That's only given us like 3.5 weeks to get a bunch of signups, but and then we're gonna have a Black Friday deal, which I think I have to talk to Liz about. I have an idea of what I want to do as far as, but there'll be a Black Friday deal for the first day only.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's like I said, 32-page black and white book. You get a full color trading card. The covers are going to be in full color, and we're probably gonna do the tapestries again because I love the tapestries, and we've got other things lined up, but I don't want to say anything out of turn just yet until like everybody on the team is on board. So
Awesome. Hey, Anthony, I wanted to, before you go, I wanted to mention the Luke Stone auction because you and I have both been telling people
Yes.
about it. So, folks, if you want to contribute, either bidding on items, you can go ahead and preview the things that are going to be for sale on the auction. I think it's happening the 21st or the 22nd. It'll be
it's the 20th and the 21st.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday and Sunday they're doing it. So
And it'll be like a live stream thing.
as far as I know, I think it's going to be on Indie Vault. I think.
Okay.
But I got to check on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they invited me to say if you want to pop on the stream, you can, but I haven't got a link on what time it is yet. But what are you contributing something, Anthony?
Well, I totally forgot to get it in by the deadline, and then what's her name said I can still get it in last night, but I did those back-to-back streams, so I didn't get it in till like late. I sent in like 4 pieces of art. I haven't seen them put up on the website yet, though, so I don't know if they got them in time. But I did send, and then hopefully they can get them up in time. Some of them are just sketches. Some of them are full pieces of art. I put my two favorite pieces up there. My Freddy vs. Jason set that I drew that I said I would never sell, but I was like, this is for a good cause, so. I'm selling it as a set. I'm putting it up there as a set. Just you can't get just one or the other. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They put mine on, but it took them a while to get it up. I mean, I sent them the info like a week ago, and it just got put on like the preview page in the last day or two. So if you folks are interested, I'm going to show you what we're going to offer. Starting at $99, you can get a original Bill Mouse BRZRKR 11x17 pen and ink page that he drew. And not only will you get the original artwork, which I'm happy to sign if you like, you can also get all the comic books that are shown here, which is very similar to what Anthony unboxed. Anthony I think you got all the different covers.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that's
there's
basically
7.
what I got right there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 7. I don't know if this picture shows them all, but I will include She, U.S. Assassin, Kane White, Box Office BRZRKR. I think the only one that's not in here is the Jim O'Reilly one, which we added later. So I don't think this particular photo shows that, but you're going to get the Rainbow the Brute one and the one that looks like Jack Kirby. Stickers and all sorts of stuff. So only $99 plus $20 shipping is the opening bid on that, and all the proceeds will go directly to Mr. Luke Stone and his family. So yeah, check that out, guys. There's other creators contributing to that. Obviously, Anthony is, and I think RJ from Critical Blast, and all the friends of Luke are gonna pull together for him. So please check that out. Let's see here. I think, Anthony, that's going to do it for our Oh, actually, I did want to open some things, and then I'm going to play my interview with Scott McCullough, which runs about a half hour. So, if you have a moment, Anthony, I'm gonna open a couple packages real quick. Would that be all right with
Yeah,
you?
I got a couple more minutes. Absolutely.
Okay, cool, man. So let me kind of show you guys. All right, so here's some mail, guys, that I got recently. Let me take the little banner for Luke's auction off. So this is from this is from my friend Bill Mouse. Speaking of BRZRKR, Bill and I go way back to the 90s, and actually 80s, I think. Our first book was 90s. It was with Eclipse Comics. We worked on the original X-FARCE. So I backed his Nira X Kickstarter Reborn campaign, and he had a tier where you can get an original variant, like a sketch cover. And so I said, can you draw Clint of the hamsters with Nira X? And so I've been waiting for this for a few months, and he did a full color sketch cover for me from Committed Comics. So this is really cool. Thank you, Bill. And like I said, Bill will be on that auction stream with me, and his daughter Kat will be on there. That'll be happening on Red Valkyrie's channel on December 4th from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So then, so thank you, Bill, for that. And then we have another package. You probably got this, I bet. Anthony, does this look familiar? Did you get one of these?
Is that the PVC?
I don't know. I saw this box come in earlier this week, and I'm a big fan of Ethan's work, and I think this is the PVC. I watched the stream today, and people were saying that they just got his PVC. Did you get this already?
Yeah, I got mine. I got both the Cyberfrog and Salamandroid.
Oh, okay. So did they come at the same time, or?
No, that was the confusing part. Yeah, no, the Cyberfrog came separately via post office, and Salamandroid came separately via UPS.
Okay.
So this
is I don't know. I have two packages here. I thought I might have double ordered. One might be did you just get them like one after the other? Or
yeah, they came like a day or two apart from each other. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the PVC Cyberfrog figure that Ethan has been promoting for the last several months. Sorry about the glare, guys. Oh, there you go. That's a good shot there. I don't take them out of the box because I'm a nerd. I might.
That's why I ordered
Anthony.
two. I ordered
Anthony.
2 sets, so I could take one out and put it on my shelf, and then the other set. So if you ordered a set separately from the book, you're getting those now. If you ordered a set with the book, like if you got the executive edition or whatever, those are coming with the book. So those are I still have another set on the way. So that's the Cyberfrog. The Salamandroid, he's huge.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
That's cool. I'll go ahead and let Anthony show, because then I can keep mine all pristine. This is probably the one that came separately, which is, I thought I might have ordered 2, but I think this is Salamandroid. So
is it a bigger box?
Let's see. No, it's the same size. So maybe I might have gotten two Cyberfrogs, because the Salamandroid is that big. I don't think he'll fit in this little cube.
Yeah, no, his box was huge.
Okay, so you get to see Anthony. When did you get yours? Just like earlier this week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Wow.
Well, I mean, I'm in Jersey, so it was like a hop and
that's true.
And a jump away. Yeah,
that's true. He's got a lot to fulfill, so that's cool, man. So, guys, I don't know if you can still get those PVCs or not. You have to check out either his Indiegogo or his eBay store. He's running a whole bunch of Christmas holiday specials, like warts and all. He's got the whole warts and all with a beanie and stickers and all that for like $100, which is quite a bit less than I think the original advertised price. I'm not sure. I think he's only got like 120 of those available. So the third thing I was going to unbox with you guys was from my good friend Keith Gleason. Do you read Mighty Mascots, Anthony? Are you familiar with that?
I haven't picked up an alternate book in a while, but I was reading. That was one of the titles I was getting from them for a while. Yeah,
I like Keith. Keith and I have developed a friendship, and whenever I see he's going to be on Alterna's auctions, I always tune in. So I've got quite a few. Let's see here.
3D Robin's right. Yeah, I think when Rec Planet is done fulfilling, because the PVCs come at Rec Planet, then the PVCs will go on to eBay, whatever's left. So, but he has to still fulfill Rec Planet first.
Chris asked, maybe were there two different Cyberfrog PVCs or just
no? That's the toy. There's two different versions of the toys, which was a separate campaign. The actual figures. He had the current design and then the 90s design. So there was two different Cyberfrog toys. But the PVCs, there was only the one. I'm pretty sure 3D Robin did the...
yeah. Oh, 3D Robin's right there.
Did the sculpt. Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
3D Robin, thank you for your cool work, man. You're awesome. So this is something that I got from Alterna's last auction a few months ago. This is actual Keith Gleason drawn Mighty Mascots sketch cover in color. So he put the original Captain Crunch next to his I think his name is Horatio Hornblower or something like that. He's a serial mascot. So this is from Keith, but then on Pete's auction last, I think a week or so ago, he had another one that he just did. So anything Mighty Mascots that Keith does, I'm a big fan of. So I've got some of his, his variant covers and stuff. And then what really drew me to this lot was not just having another original Keith Gleason piece, but he found like original old promo stuff. Like he and Frankie Washington are the original creators of Mighty Mascots. And this is stuff like before it went to Alterna, he did a sample edition to try to sell the concept to different companies. And so eventually Alterna was the one that picked it up. And, he's, I think he's on his 6th issue of Mighty Mascots. So every campaign, he does like 3 issues at a time, but this is assigned pretty much like a prototype of Mighty Mascots. And I'm not sure what this is. It might be like a little ash can or something like that. So Keith, thank you, bud. Keep up the great work. Keith has his own indie comics show called Indie Comics Relay that he does every week. And he's got his own website called Hero Envy. Anthony, I think that's going to do it for our section. Let me put you back on equal footing with me. So we have a couple of comments here. Let's see. Pedro says Horatio Honeyflakes. That's right. Thanks, Pedro. And 3D Robin says they were supposed to be half that size. Really?
Well, your mold still held up really well in the larger size, bro. You did a really good job.
We got a good value for our money for sure. So Chris asked Robin if he modeled printed those. I think you did, Robin. I saw you on the EVS stream this morning, kind of when I made the comment that I would be unboxing. So Anthony, how can people get a hold of you on social media?
Dark Gift Comics on basically every social media platform there is. I mean, I've got a Facebook page, Instagram. I even just opened up a TikTok a couple of months ago. Minds. Basically, if you go to any one of my videos, every single one of my links is in the description to any website that I'm on, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, Odyssey, all that stuff. So if you want to reach out, if you just to say hi, or you're interested in one of the books, Hunting House, like I said, is still in demand. Lightbringer's in sign up, and if you need music done for any of your trailer videos, hit me up. If you want to come on open mic night and just hang out, if you're a musician, we do karaoke. Like Piper from Graded Point 5 will come on. Now she doesn't play music. Like I play my guitar, Robert Romano plays his piano and stuff, but she'll come on and pull up a karaoke track and just sing to karaoke, so you can do that. And we have a grand old time. So definitely come hang out with us over at Dark If Comics. And Don, always a pleasure hanging out with you, man. I'm loving the blazer, by the way. I want one.
Thank
Where
you.
do I get one? Where do I get one?
I think I got this on Amazon. It was like the suit and the pants were like $99, and I'm sure they have your size. My wife needs to alter it a little bit. It's a little bit big on me, but I figured if maybe you and I, if we ever go to a con, we could wear matching blazers and be kind of like the fashion icons.
Yeah. Pedro says he'd love to do it. He plays guitar. Yeah, man, we do instrumentals all the time. So if you don't sing and just play guitar, you're more than welcome to do that as well. We do it usually every Monday night at 8. Sometimes I might start later, like 8:30 or 9, but usually it's Monday nights, 8 o'clock. I throw the link out. If you want to come on, you just jump in and come and hang out, have a good time. Robert Romano is a repeat guest. He's usually there every week. A gentleman named Ensign Ricky from the Fandom Menacide is usually there every week. Piper's there every now and then. Hockey, the Australian gentleman is there every now and then as well. So we usually do a pretty good job of like getting some people to come up, even if they just come up for one song and split. You don't have to stay for the whole show. You can just come on, hang out for a song, and then go if you got to go. So
That's
definitely
cool.
come by, Pedro. Absolutely.
Cool. I did want to get back to 3D Robin. He did answer. He says he did do the model printing for the Cyberfrog and Salamandroid. So seems like years ago that he did the sculpt. I'm sure that's very fulfilling to see it finally get into people's hands. So yeah, 3D Robin, thanks for joining the show today. I think you're new to our stream, but you're welcome to come on. Maybe I can have you on as a guest. I don't think I've ever seen you talk about your what you do, if you're not too shy, but feel free to, I might have to reach out to you on Twitter and see if you want to come out. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to say goodbye to Anthony, and then Anthony, have a great day, my friend.
You as well, Don. Thank you again so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
And good luck with Lightbringer. Guys, if you haven't signed up yet, please consider that and join me as we support our good friend Anthony. And well, I hope you have a great one, and hope you feel better too, buddy.
I will. I'm actually starting to feel better now. I think it's because you ooze like good vibes, and I think I'm absorbing that. Have a good day, man. Brother. Hail the chat. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay, bye, Anthony. All right, guys. So, gosh, I went a little bit later. It's so fun having Anthony on. He's such a cool guy. He's so chill, and it makes me very comfortable. So, I didn't mean to run this long, guys, but I do have a pre-recorded interview with Scott McCullough. And if you folks are familiar with a book called Door Kickers, he's the creator of that. And he's also the writer of Peregrine, which was a graded 0.5 book that did almost $50,000. He's the writer, creator of that. And so Chris is in Korea, and he couldn't make it live because of his job today. So I sat down with him a couple days ago, and we talked. It was like 8 o'clock my time, which was the morning for him in Korea. So I've never done a pre-recorded stream, but I'm basically going to play the interview, and you guys can just sit around and watch and comment if you'd like. And I'm sure Scott will see this on the replay, and maybe someday we'll be able to have him stream live. He's in the military, and I think he's retiring, and he's coming back to the States next year. But the Door Kickers, it's a great looking book. I think he's been on John Malin's stream recently talking about it. And this guy has a great sense of packaging and I think storytelling. And he's not like the soy G.I. Joe cover that you've been seeing circulating. He's he's got the real cool soldiers in his book. So check it out, guys. I'm going to go ahead and play the interview with him. And we'll see you next week. I don't know what I'm doing next week for my guests. So if you guys are out there and you want to be on my show, maybe 3D Robin would like to come on and talk about sculpting and what he has to offer. That would be awesome. But we'll see. We'll see. It'll be same time, same bat channel. But I'm going to go ahead and play the interview with Scott, and then it runs about a half hour. So enjoy, guys. We'll see you next time. I think that covers it. Okay. So take care. God bless. Enjoy. All right. So this is Coffee and Comics First. It's the first time I've recorded a pre-recorded interview with the creator. And the reason why I'm not having him live is because of the time difference and his job. My guest will be Scott McCullough, and he is the creator of a really great looking book called Door Kickers. And he's got some other credits to his name too. I think Peregrine is a book that some people may know about. And I've never met Scott. We just kind of messaged each other on Twitter, and we set up this time where we could do this interview. So this is actually, I'm talking to him on Monday evening at about 6:30 my time. And it's, I think it's sometime in the morning where he's at. I don't know. We'll have to find out. He's overseas. So without any further ado, let's bring in Scott. Hey, Scott, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I know you said you're in Korea. Is it morning or evening over there?
Yeah, it's morning here. It's about 11:30 in the morning.
Nice. How do you like it over there?
Oh, man, I really appreciate Korea. You know, it's not the perfect country, but at the same time, there's so much to enjoy here. The people are nice, the country's great, and let me just tell you, the food is where it's at.
Oh, I bet. My brother-in-law is Korean, and he was a connoisseur of kimchi and a lot of the street food that they have over there. He says is really good.
It's almost like they built a cuisine focused entirely around comfort food.
What's been one of your favorite foods over there since you've become a living? I don't know. You're not a citizen, but you're a.
No.
How long have you been there?
You could call me a frequent visitor. So I have lived in Korea on and off around 7 years now. I first lived here back in 2003 is when I first moved here. And then 3 more times after that, including this one. So this is my 4th time living in Korea. My wife's Korean, so we met when I was over here, and it's just been very easy with my work. Nice. Do a job in the States and then do a job here, and so it keeps the balance.
Do you speak any Korean?
I do a little bit. I understand way more because, I don't usually get a word in edgewise with my wife. I just take my beating, like a good, happy wife, happy life. And so I don't talk back. And so, my understanding is better than my speaking, but I do, anybody who is here as long as I have,
Nice.
then picks up a little bit.
Do Koreans drink coffee?
Yeah. So I don't drink coffee, but my wife is a coffee drinker, and they are connoisseur of fancy coffees. And so but oddly enough, I don't know that they drink a whole lot of. I don't know if they drink a whole lot of expensive like cappuccino and things like that. The Cafe Americano, which is I'd never heard of that until we came to Korea, is a really light coffee that you could literally see the bottom of the cup. You could look down and see the bottom of the cup, and I've never seen coffee like that before. So they definitely have a coffee culture here, and there's coffee shops everywhere here.
So if you don't drink coffee, then what is your morning drink of choice?
I'm just never good at bad habits except for sugar. I'm addicted to sugar. Though I will say, in frequent deployments, I have definitely, found the need from time to time for like energy drinks. So I don't drink those usually in the morning. Those are usually more of a in the evening type thing. I'm okay to get up on my own. I don't need chemical stimulus in the morning.
Gotcha. Has there been like a tempting Korean sweet thing that you found over there that you enjoy?
Absolutely not. They don't do sugar over here. Like, they just don't have the culture of refined sugar the way we have in the West. Ever since the discovery of sugarcane, a lot of European stuff has gotten really sweet, and they never really had that here in Korea. So all their cakes and things like that are about like a notch or two less sweet than stateside, so
gotcha. So Scott, I know I was gonna say, when you were in the green room, you said that you kind of knew my stuff when you were growing up. So how long have you been a comic book fan?
So I'm in my late 40s. So I'd say, okay, so I always thought comics were kind of neat, but I never really had any up until about third grade. And so in third grade, I was hospitalized with tonsillitis, though they didn't take my tonsils out. I felt gypped by that, every because all my friends had the tonsils taken out. And so, but somebody came and visited me in the hospital and brought me some comic books. And this would have been in like 82. I think it was 82. Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so 82 was like really when I jumped into the deep end with comics. And, over the next year, I discovered G.I. Joe. Well, one of the comics was G.I. Joe and the other one was Team America, if you can believe that.
Oh, so wow. I had those. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like G.I. Joe was a winner, but Team America was, less of a winner.
Yeah.
But I immediately transitioned into the X-Men, and the X-Men and G.I. Joe were really my kind of go-to comics all through the 80s.
So the 80s,
Larry Hama, like,
Chris Claremont is John Byrne. That was like my jam in the 80s. Definitely.
Well, yeah, the artist at the time was John Romita Jr. And, he, with artists like Dave Cockrum and John Byrne, and then bracketed by Will Portacio and
Jim Lee.
Well, Jim Lee, obviously, but Silvestri, right? I mean, so he's kind of a lot of people. His style was very different than theirs, but I really enjoyed his style a lot. And so that was really kind of, that was really it for me. Those kind of early 80s, mid 80s X-Men were just where I learned about like what I think superheroes are.
Yeah.
And so that G.I. Joe, Larry Hama did a great job of taking essentially an uninterrupted run of story in G.I. Joe and making these, little plastic action figures mean something. So I thought those both were just the bee's knees, and of course my interest quickly expanded, like, cause by the mid 80s I was into, Epic Comics and,
sure.
Even some of the indies, like there were, First Comics and, even like stuff like Mike Barron's Nexus and Badger. And I was a big fan of Martial Law from, Kevin O'Neill and
oh yeah. Good
and
stuff.
Pat
2000 AD.
Yeah, 2000 AD stuff I really got into. So I mean, I was into a lot of different stuff, right? And it was, but I was a kid and I was always interested in the military, and so like I always found myself drawn to those more kind of gun action kind of the Punisher, Mike Barron's run on the Punisher. Like I didn't realize it until I started to get to know Mike a little bit. I mean, I always knew Mike was a pretty prolific writer, but a lot of my favorite issues on the Punisher were Mike Baron comics. So it's been kind of surreal to kind of get to know some of, guys like you. I mean, I recognized your name. I won't say that I was a big fan of your work back then because, the parody stuff was never my thing. Even like Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles, a lot of people were really drawn to that, but that just wasn't my jam. I had a buddy in 7th grade who he loved TMNT, but and we're talking the original books, not the the
Sure.
parody cartoon essentially that came out a couple years after that. And he was always drawing those characters, and I was always drawing Wolverine. Right? He would draw the Turtles, and I was drawing the X-Men, or I was drawing, guys with guns and things like that. So it's just really interesting how, even close friends, back then could have very different types of things. And, I was definitely a Marvel kid versus DC. The whole kind of clean cut, slick, hopeful superheroes back then didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, I think I tend to lean more towards Marvel as well. I did like Frank Miller, like on Dark Knight. Liked
Dark Knight was real big. I remember getting that at Walden Books. I got like the 4th issue first. The other ones are really hard to find, but I eventually got all those. I mean, so that those kind of, I hate to say it, but you could say that the first kind of wave of deconstruction of modern superhero comics started happening really in the 80s. And I ate that stuff up like you wouldn't believe, which is kind of funny based on where I've come to, when on my take of the superhero comics with Peregrine, which is basically a reconstruction of the classic superhero myth. So,
yeah, I was gonna say I recognized your name from that from that campaign. I haven't seen Peregrine, but it did really well. I think you guys was it close to like 30,000 in
I think we got to a little over 50,000.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, that was just, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I totally credit 2 things. The art was amazing, and so we had an easy product to sell. And then I also credit the work of the Graded 0.5 team. Those guys were, at the time when we were really pushing the book, they were a daily, YouTube show, and they had a great audience that was constantly hearing about Peregrine and how great it is. And you can't, and this kind of goes to John Malin's point, if you're going to be a creator in CG, you really have to have a platform. As
Right.
you've learned, like with your show, and I've got my own channel now. And so these are important key things, as far as, building an audience and selling that product.
What's the name of your channel if people want to look you up, Scott?
On YouTube, I'm Writers Fix Problems. And so what I do is I focus not specifically on CG stuff. I focus more on writing. I'm trying to kind of grow the audience out of CG. I feel like I've got a pretty good brand recognition for my books within CG. So I'm trying to kind of get new people interested in CG books through my products, that may not otherwise find CG. So I think that's important to the kind of like the future of CG is to grow the customer base. And I think, the big guys are doing a great job of that. They're bringing in a lot of, their own fans, like, when guys like Aaron Lopresti and, all the Comicsgate Kings, which actually I think Comicsgate Kings are live right now, as we're talking, because that's what I was just listening to before we got on. All those guys, those big names, bring in their own fans. Some of their natural fans are already in CG, but a lot of them are just normie fans who like their art. They liked something they did with Marvel or DC, and they brought it in. And some of your fans aren't going to come into it something that they see as controversial. But ultimately, the people who think CG is controversial are people who have no idea what this movement is about.
Right. Well, that's great, man. So what was your first published comic book?
Well, so like I did some ghost writing back in the late 90s. Nothing I want to kind of put out there because my name's not on any of it. But at the same time, I also got some stuff in some anthologies. There was a comics book legal defense fund anthology. I think was my actual first printed work with my name on it. And then since then, I was trying to break into the comic industry in the late 90s. Actually, I really had my eye on like Hollywood, and I thought comics would be a good way to kind of get to Hollywood. But 9/11 happened, and then I decided to come back into the military because I was in the National Guard in the 90s. And I thought, serving my country was a good way to go with the war on terror and all that kind of stuff. So as soon as I did that, I kind of went that route. I put the comic book stuff behind me, both as a fan and as a creator. And I just poured my energy for at least 10 years into that. And then I finally kind of came back to comics when a friend of mine said, "Hey, I'm going to do an anthology book. Do you have anything military oriented you want to put in it?" I was like, "Well, I just so have this idea," and that idea was Door Kickers. So that's how the 10-page short from the first book came around.
So is this the second issue?
This is my second book. Yeah, the Door Kickers Bad Medicine is the second campaign for Door Kickers. First one did really great, with hardly any recognition or any, just what the contacts I made within CG. We did 17,000 on the first campaign, which, was really very gratifying.
Yeah. And you're already halfway to your fixed goal, and you still have almost a month left. So we're 4 days
great. In, and we're almost at 5,500. And so I know we're not doing this live, so it may be a little higher by then. Hope, knock on wood. But the things that I really kind of chalk it up to is, my name is still not a big name, right? I'm still pretty much a nobody within CG, but I am proud of the fact that people recognize the books that I've been on. And so those brands out there have been fairly easy to sell, and people responded to the artwork. And so we got we had almost 400 names on the mailing list that I launched with, and a lot of those people turned out. And a lot of if you look at the perks that have been backed, clearly it's nowhere near what's on there. So that just shows you how much of the secret, perks really kind of entice people to jump in on this. And while we also had a limited 72-hour limited cover that is no longer available. We turned that off yesterday, and that one did really well for us too.
That's
so
great, man. That's
great.
And this artwork looks really good.
Yeah, Doug Franston's the artist, and he has just, he's outdone himself. He and I worked together on Peregrine, along with our colorist, Farah Nurmaliza, and for that matter, Eric Weathers, who's going to letter it. And so we had such a great time working on Peregrine. That team that I kind of assembled to put that book together, I just said, "Hey guys, let's keep the band together and let's move on to the next project." And so everybody came back and we're working, and hopefully, for the near future, Doug is somebody I can continue to work with. He's in demand, and all it takes is somebody to come in right behind me and offer him more money, and I'm sure he'll go do something else. But until then, Doug's an amazing artist that I've been able to tap for this project. So
nice. Can we play your trailer?
Yeah, let's do it.
Some questions. All right, man. I'm going to play. This is Door Kickers Bad Medicine. Awesome. Short and to the point.
Yeah, it really shows off the art. I mean, this is one of those kind of things where I think the visuals do a better job of selling it than any of my kind of ad speech can. So, you know, hopefully it brings them into the campaign and they can learn more from the campaign page.
So give us the elevator pitch on this, Scott.
Sure. So the Door Kickers essentially the idea is a special operations team meets supernatural horror. It's what would happen, how the U.S. government would, you know, investigate these kind of things if the world that we live in today was more the rule. In this case, Door Kickers, their team is called the Wildfire Team, are in South America working with some of their operatives in South America and Brazil, investigating some anomalous stuff, and hijinks ensue as they do. And they quickly move from the Amazon down to Sao Paulo, Brazil, where they find out that the bad guys behind the hijinks are a little different than they expected, and so it becomes a struggle. So,
okay, is it? Would you say this is probably for teens and up, or all ages?
Yeah, I'd say teens and up. I try to keep the language fairly. They're going to drop an F-bomb and the S word and things like that, but outside of that, there's no sex or sexuality really in it or anything like that. And, it's violence at that point. And usually it's kind of fantasy violence involving monsters, but, from time to time, a guy gets in the way. And
yeah, it looks cool, man. I'm a big video game fan, and it almost kind of has a Gears of War type of vibe.
Yeah, kind of gritty. Yeah, well, so some of my, while I'm a big comics fan, I also played, Dungeons and Dragons, and I also played Warhammer 40K. So the whole grim, dark kind of aesthetic from 40K, there is an aspect of that informs what I'm doing here, and it actually will grow more and more as the story goes along, because the whole idea is that this supernatural threat in the world is actually getting worse versus getting better. And so, while they're operating in the shadows right now, who knows what could happen in the future when when this war, this kind of secret war, spills into the public eye.
Okay. So, man, this sounds like it'd make a great movie. I can see, the cinema potential. Have you, has anybody ever approached you about doing anything with Door Kickers after you did your first issue?
Well, right before COVID, I was talking to some people about a potential TV series for it. We were pitching it as a, computer animated, something along the lines of, just high-end computer animation. And so I think that would be good. That kind of more long form story, so that the characters can breathe a little bit and you can kind of get into the world building. I think we've seen ever since this, the success of The Sopranos in the 2000s and early 2000s. I think we can see that long form cinematic television is a really great place to tell these types of stories.
Yeah, almost like Walking Dead.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, but honestly, a video game would actually, you could do the same thing in a video game as well. Call of Duty has shown that you could basically, as long as you could come up with some sort of multiplayer experience, then you can supplement that with a single player campaign that's essentially, a playable movie.
Okay, so Scott, if I'm a newcomer to Door Kickers and I want to pick up your first the first book, is that available in this campaign?
Yep. So there are 3 books available in this campaign. We've got the original story, which is Panzer Demon. We have the new story, which is Bad Medicine, and then we've got right there, you can see it on the screen right now, the black and white ash can which is a 20-page standalone story about Stillin. He's the kind of he's the mysterious guy from the team, and that kind of gets a little bit into his backstory a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, this is great looking stuff. I mean, what year did you say was your first published book? Like the one that?
Well, yeah, I did some stuff, like I said, back in the late 90s, but really, since Door Kickers has been alive in my head, we did a 10-page anthology story in about 2014. The same publisher actually paid for that Stillin one-shot story, and so that's why I've kind of had it in my back pocket to offer for this go-around. But since then, it's been all CG stuff.
Okay.
That's
exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. CG is really what makes this book possible. I don't have the money or even the experience or the ability to really put in sweat equity like a lot of artists do. So in order to get this art done, I have to pay, cash money. And so
sure,
crowdfunding really works well with this IP and allows me to build the funds up that I need in order to, publish these books.
So what's your ambition? Is it an ongoing series with Door Kickers? And
yeah, absolutely. I could see myself doing Door Kickers for, many years into the future. I'm not going to say it's a completely ongoing story, but, for instance, some of these characters have been in the field for years by the time I wrote my first story, so I don't know why it couldn't go on into the future, for years and years, unless I just decide to break the world.
Yeah. So are you, besides Door Kickers, are there plans for more Peregrine books too?
Yep. So I'm working on Peregrine 2. I kind of put that on the shelf until, I get the campaign going with Door Kickers. Depending on how quickly we get to 10,000, which is my funding goal. My wife has basically said, if you get your funding goal, then we can look at, using our own money against that money that we'll get back, and you'll have to pay me back. She's the money person in our household.
Yeah.
And I said, that's fair. So once we hit that 10,000, then I'll get Doug started back up on artwork again and start sharing that out.
Nice.
But until then, it's all promo work, hard work, and this elbow grease that we're doing right now to help spread the word and, let people know that this book exists.
Awesome. Well, Scott, I put the links in the show description to both your campaign and also to your Twitter. Is there any other way people can get a hold of you if they want to?
So Twitter is the easiest. Instagram, I also do that. So that's at M Scott McCullough, but with an H on the end. So same as my Twitter handle, but with an H on the end.
Okay, cool. And so when is Door Kickers 2 supposed to come out?
So, on the campaign, I've got it as set for November of 2022, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to, fulfill it a little earlier than that. But, it's always good. You never know what life's going to throw at you. So I've got a move coming up next summer. So depending on how that goes, yeah, I may need every month of that 2 months or that 12 months.
Are you coming back to the States? Or are you gonna?
Yep. I'll be in the States. I'm not sure where we're going to settle. I got to I'm retiring from the military, so I got to find a new gig, and I doubt my comics work will be able to float my family. So it'll be back to the day job.
I hope you can put a big dent in your in a positive way in your finances, because what I'm seeing, your stuff is very high quality, and I think I'm going to back it. I just need to figure out which tier, but I most likely will back the one that has the first issues, so I can make sure I'm all on board. But it looks like exactly like the kind of stuff I would enjoy, because I love horror. I love a lot of action, and you are definitely setting a great example. And I hope that I salute you also for your service. Thank you so much for for all you've done for our country. And tell your wife that too.
You tell me about it. My wife and kids, you know, they've served every step of the way. They've endured all these moves, and you know, especially my kids, you know, they just get to know a group of friends, and then they've got to leave again. So it's tough on these military families. That
is tough. I have a niece who's married to a Air Force colonel. I think he's one step away from being a colonel, but they have moved all over the place, and it is hard. But you know, Scott, I thank you for coming on the show. I'm glad we could make this work, and I'm looking forward to watching this on the live broadcast with my co-host Anthony. So hopefully we can have you on again and talk about your book as it progresses. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to make some time, and you know, maybe we just have to adjust the schedule a little bit so that we can line up, you know, either late in the night or early in the morning, either one of those. And, you know, especially once I've, you know, hit that funding goal, I'll come back and celebrate a little bit with you, because I tell you, what you're doing, Don, is a big part of this community. Every time you have a creator on who doesn't have a big platform or a built-in, you know, it really helps. You know, anybody who has a platform, I advocate that, you know, share it with the up and coming guys. But, you know, on the other hand, I say share on one hand, but I also say be picky with who you pick to do it, because, you know, we should offer the customers only the highest quality stuff. You know, my ethos is that if I can't put my books on the stands next to, you know, other high quality indies and the mainstream books, then I shouldn't be making it at all, and I need to go back to the drawing board. So yeah, that's what I've tried to do.
I can tell, man, you have high quality standards, and that's something I think is a really good inspiration for all of us. So hey, Scott, thank you for your time. I hope you have an enjoyable rest of your day in Korea, and
thank you, man.
And we'll talk soon. And yeah, I'll definitely want to keep in touch with you. So thanks again for joining us, bud.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Okay, thanks, Scott. I'm going to go ahead and exit you out here. All right, so that is Scott McCullough, our guest today. Looks like an awesome book. So pick up Door Kickers, folks. And then if you want to check out Peregrine, I think it's no longer in demand, but there might be back issues out there. So if I get a line from Scott where you can pick up the back issues, I'll definitely let you know. But that was a good looking book as well. Anyways, that's it for my interview with Scott, and we'll call it a day. Thanks, guys.